Okay, so welcome everyone. So please just type in the chat box. Let me know that you can all hear me loud and clear, and you can also see the screen that says 5-part curation with Kudani. Brilliant. And as you're typing in, say hi and let me know where you're coming in from, and that you can hear me really well, because I'm not my usual mic, and sometimes things do go a little bit wrong. So hi Ken, hi Harold. And we got Rich from South Africa. Brilliant. And we got Bill from Maryland and Ken's from Pennsylvania. We got people from Manchester, Kansas City. We got people from Idaho. Leo from San Diego. I'm going to be there soon, Leo. Brilliant. So, and we got Paul from coming in from Ireland. We got Ronald from Charlotte. Tell you what, Leo, it might be as hot as San Diego at the moment. At the moment it's in London. We're nudging 30 degrees here. So yeah. So when I get out to your neck of the woods, I'm hoping it will stay the same. Okay. Brilliant. All right, guys. So everyone can see me, and I can see you're all engaged in the chat box. So, first of all, just a couple of questions. Like, has first of all, are there any customers on this call? So, has anyone already bought into Kudani, or has um, everyone just seen it advertised, received emails, etc.? Just let me know. Okay, so Paul's saying yes. You mean yes, you have it, Paul? Is that what you're saying? Brilliant. Okay, so we got a couple of customers, but the majority of you don't. So that's fine. And so yeah, all right, brilliant. So what I'm going to do, so I'm just going to introduce myself then, because a lot of people don't know me, and basically, obviously, my name's Paul Clifford, and I've been building sort of large online software systems for the past 25 years. I was what they called a CTO, so like a chief techie, basically, and I worked for a number of different software startups where we built the software as a company and then sold it, and it's all really good, and I was doing fine with that. But of course, I was working for someone else. I was a kind of a slave to the corporate world, and I really wanted to be my own boss. Be an entrepreneur, run my own business, and be in control of my own destiny. And so I started getting into online marketing, and I struggled for 2 years, and I tried everything, and it is a hard slog. It's quite difficult, but you will always get there in the end. And finally, I started making some money with SEO and e-commerce. Okay, so e-commerce like drop shipping and things like that. And I did that for quite a while, and I really sort of made some money with it, and it was quite successful. And once you master the art of SEO, then you realize that you can get traffic in lots of different niches. But of course, with e-commerce, it wasn't as passive as I wanted. Okay, I still had to deal with physical goods and things like that, and I really wanted to do something a little bit more passive, and that's where I started putting together my SEO knowledge with software, and I started building software to make people's lives easier, especially in the traffic and SEO world. And so we formed Page One Traffic, and we now serve around 16,000 customers. Okay, so the company's well established. We've got lots of happy users, happy customers, and we've been around for a while, and we're here to stay. Okay, we know what we're doing, and especially when it comes down to software. So, first of all, I just want to ask you a quick question, just to let me know, how much money is your number one website worth to you right now? In other words, what sort of value do you put on your site? And not just, don't think in terms of just revenue that it might be giving you, if any at all, because I know there's plenty of people who start out from nothing. But also think about all the time you put into it. Okay, time and effort, and if you really value that, which you should be, then you'll find it adds up to quite a figure. Okay, so The next question I have then for you is basically, how much time have you spent creating and ranking sites only to get knocked back, okay, by Panda or Penguin and other algorithm changes, and if it asks you this question, would you invest a little more time right now if it meant the rewards were a stable, high traffic, powerful authority site in the future? So if that's you, and you want to really get things right now, okay, no more quick fixes, no more, dodgy plugins that, just don't smell right. Okay. No magic buttons that you press a button, all of a sudden you've got all these sales and traffic. We've all seen the sales pages, right? So you promise to put all these away and type in the chat box, yes, I'm ready now to invest a little bit more time right now, because I want a stable, high traffic, powerful authority site. Okay, so with that in mind, put more value on your time and effort. Okay, understand that everything you do, all your learning process and everything, okay, is extremely valuable. All right, so let's not lose it, and do any tricks or anything like that. Let's just stick to solid, building authority sites that Google are going to love, your customers are going to love, and you're going to get tons of traffic in the future. So, what you're going to cover in this session, or what I'm going to cover and teach you, is basically why curation gets you traffic and an authority site. And I want to cover like the 5 new curation models that you should be using right now. Okay. And we'll go through those in a lot of detail. And I want to show you 2 little tricks that suck search visitors to your site so that you can use them. Okay. And right after this webinar, you can use these on your site. And of course, I want to show you how you can do and automate a lot of this using Kudani. Okay, so first of all, why curation? Okay, what is this all about? Well, what you have to understand is that Google has a big problem. Okay, and the big problem it has is there's too much content on the web. So yes, it's good at searching, it's good at indexing, it's got tons of technology, but essentially it relies, the algorithm relies on backlinks, and those can be manipulated, as we all know. Okay, and moving forward, what they're trying to do now is they're actually looking for curators. Okay, and the reason they're looking for curators is because they're looking for social as a proof of validity, and by that they want to make sure that the results they're providing are genuine results. Okay, they're not manipulated, and by that they're using people like curators to select the best content out there. Okay, and position that content for Google to index and rank, and that's why a lot of curated content ranks very, very quickly. Okay, and basically the last thing is that they're better at relevance than ever before. Okay, so they really understand, relevant links to other sites, and obviously other sites linking into you, and they understand the relevance of paragraphs, of words, and everything now. So they know what when a site is an authority site and when it's not. And this is backed up, and it's backed up by Google themselves. They have their figurehead, if you like, of Matt Cutts of the web spam team, who talks about what to do and what not to do. And he has a video specifically, where he talks about curation itself. Okay, what is high quality curation? And he talks about how Google likes high quality curation, which is the arrow to the right there. But what they really don't like is the plugins that just churn out what many plugin sellers call curated content. Okay, so they don't like the automated plugins that just sit on your site, just grabbing chunks of content and just spewing it out. Okay, and that is what that video is all about. And to the right is high quality content where you're being intelligent, right? You're being intelligent and you're selecting stuff that's actually interesting to your readers. So bear that in mind, okay? And that is what Google was really, really looking for. You got to get the basics right, though, of your site, okay? It must be socially influenced, okay? So you must have your social links set up so that people can share it. And we explore strategies of how to do that. Obviously, it needs to be fully tweaked for on-page SEO. It must be fast. It must be well structured, and of course, it must be directly relevant to the actual query. Okay, so you need to use keywords and design your posts so they match the types of searches that are coming in. People are looking for solutions to problems, so you need to really provide those solutions to people, and you need to be consistently publishing. Do it regularly. Okay, and by publishing regularly, you touch what's called the QDF algorithm, and QDF stands for query deserves freshness. In Google, this algorithm is looking for fresh content coming out, and sometimes you'll see when you publish something, it gets ranked very, very quickly, and then it sort of gradually goes down again and establishes a more long-term position. And what does that initial ranking is the QDF algorithm. Okay, so basically that's to give you a picture. That's the big picture overview of like why Google likes curation. It likes curators. It's looking for relevant, trending content. Okay, and it measures all this using things like relevance, measuring your social profile, and obviously, eventually, it's doing it through the traffic and users that are actually hitting your site. So, first of all, let's just do some basics, okay? Because I know some of you on here are really probably asking the question, well, what is curation essentially, okay? But how do I actually do this from scratch? What's the basic? If I want to do the most basic curated post ever, okay, then, how would I do that? Just type in the chat box, are you following me? And is this what you want to hear? Say, yes, Paul. Brilliant. Yep. Loads. Absolutely spot on. Definitely. Okay, brilliant. So, here is probably the most basic curated post ever. Okay. Obviously you've got to start somewhere, but curation is a little bit more intelligent and clever than just doing this. But at a very, very basic level, what you have here is a post that has a keyword oriented title. Okay, so the keyword is designed to match the searches that are coming in. Okay, and it's a long tail keyword or phrase. Okay, and the idea is that the long tail keywords that people are looking for, they you can rank posts really easily with those. And so you're not going to get 2,000 searches a month for these long tail keywords. You're going to get much smaller amounts, but the point is you'll have lots more posts, okay, that are matching those keywords. So the next piece there is your introduction to the text or to the actual content that you're writing about. Okay, so there's like a couple of lines there, or 2 or 3 lines, and basically you need to put, you need to introduce your topic. What you're actually talking about. Okay, so in this particular example, it's just an introduction to the post, and it's only a couple of lines. And then the red paragraph there is the curated content. Okay, so what I've actually researched and found on the web, and I've pulled a portion of that content into my post. Okay, and I've pulled that portion in, and I put a link at the end of that paragraph where it says see more from SEO Consult here. Okay, and SEO Consult here is a backlink that goes back to the original post of where that content came from. And that's absolutely key, okay, because what you're doing there is you're telling the reader that you didn't write that from scratch. You're giving recognition to the original author by putting the backlink there. Okay, and you're also telling Google that you weren't the original author of that content. Okay, so there's no question here of duplicate content or anything like that. Google totally understands, blogging. It totally understands curation. Okay, as long as you put in the backlink. And then also you should never take, all the article. Okay, there's no point just copying the 100% of an article. Take around 40-50%, or what's right, what feels natural. Okay, you need to make it readable, and ideally you don't really want to sort of finish mid-sentence, because if you finish mid-sentence, then you're sending that user all the way back to the original post, and ideally you want to keep the people on your post reading all the way through. And then you do that a few times within your post, but you'd always summarize your content. Okay, so at the end there, you put on a paragraph or whatever, again putting your input, your opinion, so people can put everything into context and understand what is actually happening within your post. Okay, so that's the very, very basic level. That's what a curated post looks like. Okay, and in a minute we're just going to talk about expanding that and taking that a step further. But when you look at your blog, you've got to think about, well, what are the signals you're sending to Google for authority? Okay, especially with a curated post. And first of all, number one, you're relevant to an authority site. Okay, so you've curated a paragraph of content, from an authority site. You're passing your page rank back to them. Okay, but Google sees that then, so your content on your page is relevant to this authority site. Okay, and sometimes if that authority site is a WordPress site and you've curated from them, then they'll give you a track back, so you can actually, and track back is like another backlink back to your site, so that you actually get backlinks from them as well. And of course they're very, very powerful. The second thing is the title needs to match the query. Okay, so you need to use trending keywords in your titles so that it makes life a lot easier for Google to match up your post with what people are actually searching for. And number three, then using interlinked posts with keywords equals authority. So basically, what that means is that, with lots of posts on your site, you should interlink them. Okay, so that, you're providing the reader like definitions of words, or you're keeping the conversation going within your site on this whole topic. And that's telling Google that you're an authority on this topic. It's not just one page. Okay, you've got lots of pages on this whole thing. Okay, and number four, by linking Google Plus and setting yourself up as an author on Google Plus and putting that on your blog, that sends the signal to Google that you're authentic. Okay, so you actually have a real social account, and it's linked up, and gradually your author profile will build value. Okay, so the more posts you put out, Google can trace it. They can see then that, hey, this guy's good. Let's give you another few points of authority. Okay, so so that is the big picture, and that's how you get traffic, and that's how you get authority. Now let's just explore, the curation models. Let's take this a step further. Now the first curation model is called aggregation. And by the way, these curation models, I didn't invent these. Okay, they've been around for a while, and there's a chap called Rohit Bhagava, and you can go and look at his blog. He's a marketer, and he's written about this stuff. And what he's managed to do is really group together the 5 primary models that people should be using when they're curating content. So, first of all, the first one's called aggregation, and this is the most common and the easiest to understand. And it's basically where you're grouping together the best types of content on a particular subject. Okay, so things like the 10 best tips for something, the 5 strategies to overcome your niche, whatever it might be. Okay, group together, different ideas or lists of content and put them together with a snappy title like that. The second one is called distillation, and this is where you're taking complex topics and pulling out the essential elements. Okay, so you're simplifying things for your readers. You're making it easier for them to understand and digest, and that's really, really important. Okay, because readers will like you for that. Okay, that you're making their lives easier. All right, so that's why they would then put you up on a pedestal of authority more than anyone else would. Then the next one's called elevation, and this is where you're spotting snippets of trending material. Okay, and you're pulling that all into into one piece. So, for example, this is where people do things like um, write lots of posts on iPhone 6, okay, or iPhone 6 release date, and new pictures of iPhone 6. The iPhone 6 doesn't exist yet, okay, but everyone is searching for it massively. And there's huge amounts of traffic, for those keywords because everyone's just waiting for the iPhone 6 to come out. And you'll find that all these posts on iPhone 6 are not writing anything new. Okay, it's all very, very well established. And what they're doing is just regurgitating and changing, someone else's content and positioning it in a way. But of course, they're putting, iPhone 6 release date in their title just to get the traffic. Okay. And that's using the elevation model of curation. And step 4 is called mashup, and this is where you're basically putting together, one, two, or three, or at least two or three different types of content to make an argument, to make a case for something. Okay, to express two different points of view. And then, the final one is called time-based. And this is where you're grouping topics together based on their order over time. And for example, you have the growth of Facebook. Okay. And you might have seen this, especially in in an infographic, for example, where you've seen a timeline of how things started and how things have expanded and where it is today. Okay, so those are like the 5 curation models, and obviously, we explore these and go into a lot more depth, within the Kudani training. But that gives you a good picture and a good overview, of how to do curation. And remember, the benefits of curation are not just, creating authority site to get traffic from Google. It's actually faster, okay, because you're not writing tons of content from scratch. Obviously, the better you get, that you probably do that, but curating by grabbing other people's content, it helps the support of you, it helps you write, and it helps you put decent posts together. Okay, now let me just talk briefly about 2 tricks, okay, to get search visitors to your site, and you can use these right now. Okay, so straight after this webinar, you'll be able to go and use these. And the first one is really straightforward, but it's got a twist. Okay, and that is using the right titles, and these are the titles for your posts. Okay, so titles in your posts should use trending keywords that are optimized to match the traffic. Okay, so don't whenever you're using keywords, make sure using the Google Trends tool, for example, that the traffic is either flat or going up. Okay, what you don't want, unless you're using the elevation curation model, what you don't want is really spiky traffic. Okay, and by that I mean something, an event that happened last year, that might suddenly, it might appear that it's got lots of traffic, but the whole event is over. Okay, or you don't really want to be writing about something that's declining. So that's why you need to write and invest in trending keyword that's optimized to match the traffic. And then what you need to do is provide easy solutions to people's problems. And you do that by expressing your titles in a certain way. So for example, if you wrote 5 ways to create, niche, whatever niche you're in, okay, 3 content curation tips that guarantee success, for example, how I used viral marketing to make $1,000 in 5 days, 10 tips to master blogging, 3 curation lessons that you can benefit from today. Okay, so you can see that every single one of those has got numbers, so they're factual, so they let that people can see that, okay, so I've got 3 steps, 5 things to do, or 10 tips, only 10 things, and I've mastered this subject. Okay, and that's really powerful. And in the third one, where it says how I used such to make $1,000 in so many days, then it's got a time-driven element to it as well. Okay, so people see like an end to it, and that's equally powerful. So here's a couple more: why I used such and such to achieve my goals, and achieve victory with these 5 strategies. And lastly, never before heard of blogging tips or something like that. Okay. And by using those, those are the kind of things that people are looking for. All right. And, that is where the power comes in, because people will see your post in the search results, but you're competing, okay, with 9 other results. And, you want to ensure that yours gets the click. And by using titles like these, this is what gets you the traffic. Okay. Now, the second strategy, which I just want to cover, is using the right descriptions. Okay. So using a description, in your post that is not boring. Okay. You need to sell to the reader. And so when someone sees a description or a snippet in the search engine result page, if they searched on gardening tips, so here's an example for gardening tips, and they see gardening advice, get gardening help, tips, and advice from the Telegraph, your source for practical help in the garden. Okay, it's all right. It's very broad. Okay, it's not that exciting. Or if I'm searching for how to improve my memory, then I just see improve your concentration ability. If you want to improve your memory, you have to be able to focus to learn and recall information. Okay, great, but it's very broad and it's very general. It's okay, all right. But then compare it to something like this. So again, gardening tips is the first one. Here are a few tips I've just learned. Excuse me. Let's get that back. Here are a few tips that I've just learnt on guerrilla gardening. Guerrilla gardening. Okay, that's going to get my attention. Okay. And here is a 12-step guide of things to think about. Okay, so I've got 12 steps. All right, so it's defined, it's a fast, easy solution. And then the second one on the improved memory, here are 5 tips to maximize mental focus. And, if I added a time-driven motive there, so like 5 tips to maximize mental focus, and I added sort of in 5 days, okay, that's going to be twice as powerful. All right. So do you see the point? So, those, just using those strategies already, with your own sites or whatever, are, going to get you more clicks on your posts. Okay. And that's really, really powerful. So, let me ask you, so would you like to see how to, do a lot of this automatically? Just let me know in the chat box. Is this what you want to see? Yeah. Brilliant. Absolutely. Okay, so you've all heard about Kudani. Okay, so you've seen some emails on it. So let's just cover what it is. Okay, and it's essentially an automated software system. Okay, that automatically extracts relevant content through feeds, and with drag and drop simplicity, it allows you to curate high authority posts. And it includes a powerful keyword tool to find keywords that are fresh, and includes an integrated search engine to find content, images, and videos. So what it also has is built-in proven templates to get you going straight away. Okay, so you don't have to start from scratch. It also enables you to create viral infographics without any designers or anything like that. And you can even track and compare the social metrics of your posts with the competition, and then find backlink opportunities through guest posts and comment links. Okay, so let's have a look and let me show you what this actually looks like. So what I'm going to do is just flick over to Kudani, which I've got running here. Okay, and you should see that on your screen. It's expanded a bit. Okay, so basically, this is like the main desktop area. Okay, and this is what you see. So you've got across the top here, you've got publish, posts, graphics, opportunities, contacts, and settings. And down the left here, you've got feeds, and I'll come to those in a bit more. And then you've got something called snippets, search, keywords, and templates. And then the concept is most of the time you'll spend your time in this area of feeds, and these are feeds that that blogs publish out on the web. And what they're like a lightweight version of their web page. Okay, and You can get these by adding them in yourself manually, or I also provide two batches of feeds, like a long one and a short one. And if you've ever used Google Reader or another reader, feed reader, you can export, although you can't export from Google anymore, but you could export your feeds and import them, into Kudani. And so all these are organized into categories, but you can make up your own categories, and you can open them out here and hear all the blogs, okay, within any particular category. And all you need to do is sort of click on one, and in here come all the posts. And again, you just click on one of these posts, and it loads, into a little window below. Okay, and this is like the snippet of that particular blog post. So you've got an image, and you've got a summary right here of the actual content. Okay, and all you need to do then is just click on the next one if you want to look at that. Perhaps the next one, etc., etc. And you can just get browse from blog to blog. Okay, and if anything in particular looks interesting, then you can actually curate directly from it. Now, how do we go about doing that? So if I click on one of these, let's say TechCrunch. Okay, so here's a load of content, for example. So we're talking about, high quality scanners for OS X. Okay, so first of all, I can curate directly from this snippet. Okay, so I can literally highlight content here, and I can just drag it straight into my editor. And straight away, what it does, it pulls across the original source of the link. And if you remember in curation, that's what we wanted to do, and make sure that we do the right link back to the source. And I can either carry on, go on to the next one, or I might think, well, I'll come back to that later, and I might just highlight it by right-clicking on it and clicking star, and it'll highlight it for me so I can return to it, or so I don't lose it. Okay. Or perhaps what I might want to do is drill down a bit deeper, okay, and look for some more content on the web page itself. And so I can click on this cloud symbol here. And what it does, it actually opens up, the content within this browser window here. So I can actually read, the real content behind it. And again, I can just, drag and drop and copy content, straight into my window here. Okay. What I might do instead, though, is I might think, that might be interesting, but it's no good for me right now. Maybe that might be good for another blog, and I want to just save that somewhere. And so, leaving it highlighted, I can click on these scissors here where it says Make Snippet, and it will just save that content for me, and it will save the source where it came from, and I can just give it a quick title like interesting article. And I can create a category, or I've got some categories I made earlier, and I'll put it in read later. Okay, and just tuck that away somewhere so that I can come back to it in the future. And so I can just basically drag and drop, read all my news as it's coming in, and save content, start creating a post, and do all this on the fly. But you can see all this information is at my fingertips, and it's already grouped into the type of content that I want. And as you start to work within your niche, what you can do is create a category here for your niche. And when you see an interesting feed, you can literally you can drag that feed into your category, or or rename it or call it whatever you want, so that you've always got that at your fingertips. Okay. So the next piece here is called snippets, and this is, as I said before, where you can save content and you can create your own categories, and drag and drop again, little snippets of information that could be interesting. Okay, but let's just start though going through this as you would use it on a day-to-day basis, or perhaps you might start from scratch. Let's say building a blog, and let's say I want to build a blog on self-development or something like that. Then what I'll do first of all is I go to the keywords section here. Okay, and remember we were talking about trending keywords, and let's put in here self-development. Okay, so straight away what you can see is it's pulled in from the Google Suggests database. Okay, so the Suggest databases are what Google's telling you people are searching for right now. Okay, and it's pulled in these keywords, and so I typed in self-development, and it's pulled in self-development charter school, books, quotes, plans, preschool, of people, plan template is a process, and courses. Okay, and I got an indication of what kind of volumes are coming in here. And so all I need to do is click on this trends button here, and literally in come a whole load of graphs that show me these keywords, whether they're actually interesting or not. Okay, so for example, self-development. Okay, so that's fairly flat, so the interest in that is there and consistent. But self-development charter school is very spiky. So there must have been two events, historically, that gave that particular keyword that amount of traffic. But it's no good for me to blog about. Okay, so I'll switch that off. Self-development books, where there's a consistent interest in that. Okay, so I'll keep that. Self-development quotes, where there's a good consistent interest in that as well, and plan as well. And preschool is again very, very spiky. Okay, and of people, yeah, so there's plenty of interest there in people. Maybe not templates, and self-development is a process, again very spiky, so maybe that was a book or something that came out. But already I've got like some high level categories there, okay, of topics around self-development. And what I can do is let's just save those a second. Okay, so I just right click there and I just put that straight in my editor, and you can think, right, so that in a way those are already the categories that would form part of my website, okay, under self-development. Now, when people are in the self-development world, generally they're looking at how to improve themselves. Okay, so let's have a look, for example, at how to improve. Click search on that. And so this is what people are searching on when they type in how to improve posture, memory, credit score, handwriting, eyesight, self-esteem, flexibility, balance, immune system, and internet speed. Okay, so the ones there that are interesting from a self-development perspective are probably like memory, okay, self-esteem, and probably that, I mean, in that particular selection, that's going to be it, right? So let's just grab those keywords. Okay, so that's going to form part of I can do a post on that, how to improve memory. In fact, let's go a bit deeper and let's look at how to develop memory. If I double click on that word or that phrase, it drills down deeper and opens all these longer tail keywords. Okay, so here's one: how to improve memory and concentration. Okay, so that's a good one. How to improve memory with food. Brilliant. Okay, if I double clicked on that, it will drill down even more. How to improve your memory with food. How to improve memory power with food. Okay, so these are what people are actually typing into Google right now. So these are people searching for solutions. And you can see that if you write posts around these, then you're going to get traffic. So if I took something like this, for example, and let me just take this one off. What I can do, let's move that into my editor. Let me just put it on the new line so it looks neater. Okay, so let's write something around that. And then what I can do is again right click on it and let's click search. Okay, and then what it does is it copies that into my search engine here. Okay, how to improve memory power with food. And if I click on the search icon, then here come a load of search results, okay, all to do with that particular topic. Okay, so for example, if I click on this one, increase memory power by following the Mediterranean diet plan. So that looks interesting. So people are looking to improve, their memory power with food. And let's drill down a bit more into that article and see what in particular is interesting. Okay, so this doctor here, wrote about this whole topic about how the Mediterranean diet, um, basically decreases the likelihood of cognitive impairment. So basically, that's the research that says, um, that eating a Mediterranean diet is going to be good for you, good for your memory power. All right, so let's grab that, okay, because that's going to be quite useful, for my post. And what I can do, of course, is just look for a few more articles to back up my point. Okay. So what else? There's deep meditation, improves memory power. Some excellent suggestions before you decide to add this supplement. Okay, so this might be a supplement to do with improving your memory. And again, you can just scroll through and scan the content and try and pull out something that is going to be relevant. Okay. Okay, so eat foods including nuts, fish, and flaxseed oil. Let's pull that into here as well. Okay, and brilliant. Let's just move that up a bit. Okay, so I'm just moving it so you can all see it on screen. So I've got two elements of content there, and so now I need to just provide some wrapper to a story of what this post is going to be about. Okay, so for now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to park these keywords, and I'm just going to park them into a snippet. Okay, so that I can come back to them later. So I'm just going to highlight them, and I click on the scissor symbol here. So these are good keywords for self-development, and let's just save that in my self-development project. Okay, and now I can just get rid of these. Okay. And then what I've got down here is I've got this area called templates, and this has a load of stuff in there. So you've got, famous quotes, press release templates, interesting facts, every day in history. I've got Facebook questions for increasing engagement. The interesting facts database, you can literally just click on that and type in a keyword or just scroll through it, and whenever you click on something, it pulls it into your editor there. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to look at the titles. Okay, and this is where I've got all the titles that I was talking about before, of the kinds of things that people really look for. Okay, and here let's find, okay, 10 tips to master something. So let's double click on that. It puts it in the title of my post here. So 10 tips to improve, improve memory power with food. Okay, and in fact, rather than 10, I might just put 3, just to make things a bit more just easier for the reader. Okay, so basically, then I just need to introduce it. Okay, so here are here are the 3 best tips. And you can see where I'm going with that, so I can just write a couple of lines on that. And then, say, right, this is basically tip 1. Tip 2. Okay, and sometimes you'll see, okay, the font there is all a bit weird. Okay, it's because I've dragged it from the web. I want to just clean that up so that it's going to look good on my blog. And I just click on this rubber symbol here in the toolbar, and that helps me do that. So you can start to see straight away, how quick and easy it is to actually create posts for my blog. And all I need to do really is just, apart from adding a little bit more intelligent content, but what I need to just sign it off, okay. And to sign off, I can either write and click here to get my book, okay, or click here to get whatever it is I'm promoting. But really, the goal with any of this is to get people on your list, okay, which is one of the most important targets for any blog. And so, what I might do is I might have a standard sign off that I'm going to use in my snippets, okay. And if I go to my snippets, self development, here's what sign off, double click on that, and you can see it just puts it in here. So the right techniques, strategies, and supplements are essential to a focused and active mind. Sign up to my newsletter to get detailed guidance and updates to my research. Okay, so there's my sign off. So that post is kind of all ready to go. Okay, it needs a little bit of meat, without a doubt, but I want to show you some other things, so I don't spend too much time on that. And then basically all I do is I click on this publish button here, and then I just choose, whichever one of my blogs I want to post to. Choose a category, and I just post that out. And I don't have to do it immediately. I can schedule it so that it goes out, at a specific time in the future, which means that basically I can do all my curation, in one sitting, and do all my blogs, within a day, and I can end up just a whole load of posts created that are all scheduled to be dripped out to all my blogs. And I can even post straight to Facebook here as well. Okay, so you can go out to my Facebook page, or whichever page I've got. I just click login, and I literally put it into whatever page I choose. Okay, so just a couple of other things to show you. While you're doing here, obviously that post itself is going to be a bit boring without some imagery. And so what we include here is, in the search engine, apart from Google Blogs, News, your feeds or articles, you can search over videos. You can even search over Twitter, okay, for trending topics. But you can also search over images. And so, if I wanted to search something to do with memory, then I might search on, say, the brain, for example. And with images, I can search over several image databases like Flickr, Morgfile, or Pixabay, which are public domain images, and they all come in here like this. Okay, and all I need to do is sort of scroll through and find a picture of a brain, for example, and put my cursor where I want it to go. Double click on the image, and it goes into my post. But of course, that's too big, right? So I just double click on the image and just make it smaller. Okay, just like that. And maybe I'll just right align it just so it looks nice and tight against the text. Okay. And there it goes. And again, like everything here, you're curating, so it pulls in a credit. Okay. And credits can go against the picture, but as long as they're on the post, that's what matters. And so I like to put them at the end like that. Okay. And all I need to do then is just pull up my post around it, and that's going to look quite cool on my blog. So once I publish that, then it goes into this posts tab here, and on the post tab, I've got all the posts that I've made, okay, all out to my blog. And what I can do is I can double click on any of them, it will go straight to the blog post, or I can pull it back into my editor and re-edit it and push it back out again. And what it's also doing is it's tracking the page rank, any Facebook shares, any Facebook likes, any tweets, Google plus ones. Okay, it's tracking all this data for me, so I can see how my content is actually working for me. And then what it also does is it allows me to put in my competitors as well. So I could put in YouTube videos or something like that, and see how well they're performing, or see how well my competitors' YouTube videos are performing as well. Okay. And if I posted to Facebook, I have this another tab here called social, and this would be, a link directly to, my Facebook post. And again, if I double clicked on that, then that would go straight out to it. So I can see how that's doing and how that's being shared. All right. So, straight away, I think you can see how much power there is, all within the Kudani framework, and, how easy and straightforward it is to curate and publish content. So just a second, I just want to quickly have a look at the chat box and check that you're all following me, and let me know that you're liking what you see, and that this is the type of app that you can see yourself using. Okay. So Ken says, got it, great stuff. Barbara says, what about videos? Okay, cool. Adrian says, wow. Bill says, pretty awesome, Paul. On videos, Barbara, all you need to do is just go back to the posts, and I'll leave it on brain. I don't know what sort of videos I'm going to get, but it could be quite funny, or it could be quite the opposite. But basically what I'm doing is I'm going to be searching over YouTube, and when I search over that, in come all the YouTube videos that have got anything to do with a brain. Okay, it's a very short keyword, so you're going to get a huge variety of keywords there. And basically, what happens, you just double click on them, and they go straight into the editor. Okay, and you can write around it, you can curate it, anything like that, you can do straight away. Now, in the interest of time, I want to just show you a couple of other things within Kudani. And first of all, we've got these other tabs here. We've got the graphics tab, and this is where you can create graphics and infographics for publishing without any sort of graphic design skills at all. And we provide some projects for you, but basically this is like a template that's provided, but you can start completely from scratch. Okay. And all you do is select a background. Okay, so let's select like an antique looking background. Select some images. Okay, and you literally click on whatever image you want. So these are sort of banners, so I can do some maybe I could do that, like the timeline one, like I was talking about Facebook earlier. So I've got 1, 2, I can resize as appropriate, whatever I think best. Okay, and I literally create an image on here, including some text. Okay, so let's put a headline in there. Oh. Something like that. Okay, so I'm able to do that again without being graphically inclined or any design skills, because all this is provided for me, and it's all done in a really easy to use drag and drop sort of format. And if I change my mind on anything like the background, I can just change it real time. Okay, and whatever I've got here, literally click on the background, and there it is. And I can even change the frame around it, just like that. And once I'm ready, I can either save it as a project and come back to it later, or I can save it as an image and save it straight to my desktop for publishing out on the web somewhere, or uploading to my blog. So straight away, that's pretty powerful. Okay. And what you can also do in opportunities, okay, you can look for link opportunities for either doing guest posting or for comments. Okay, so in other words, for leaving comment links. And we provide basically a whole load of what we call search patterns, and you can choose any of these search patterns for finding sort of guest post opportunities. So let's say become a contributor. I was looking on. Let's do. Oh, let's just leave it as Range Rover. But you literally. Oops, sorry. You pull in. Let's clear that and click on search. And basically it comes back with the closest matches from Google, for Range Rover and becoming a contributor. Okay. And with any of these, then I can literally just highlight them, and I can ask it to go and find me any contact details that it can find from those sites. Okay. So if it can find a Twitter contact, an email, maybe their Facebook page, their Google Plus contact details, have they got a contact form on screen? Okay. And all this is really useful if I want to get in touch with them to see whether I can contribute something to them, to their blog. And then what I can also do is just see whether they've got any traffic. So if I click on fetch traffic stats here, then it automatically goes and tells me whether I've got any Alexa traffic, okay, and what the page rank of that particular blog is as well. All right, so all those are really, really important. And then what I can do is save that, okay, and save that to my contacts database, so that in my contacts database here, I've got all my potential contacts for any blogs or any guest posting or anything like that that I'm doing with SEO, and I've got it all in one place. So I think you can see there, you've got a really, really comprehensive package and software tool for producing really interesting and vibrant content for your blogs. Okay, so just going to look at a couple of questions here. So can we modify alt tags for images automatically using the keyword? Actually, Ken, we've got that on the to-do list. It doesn't do that right now, but it will do that. It's a very common SEO technique. So it Jareth is just asking whether it publishes to Google Plus. Not yet, Jareth. We're just waiting for Google to open up its API. So I don't know if you know that, but no one can publish pure content to Google Plus yet remotely. Although we have got a technique which we're working on at the moment. Adrian's asking about copyright problems. I guess you mean copyright in terms of curation. It's generally, very acceptable to curate content. There are some sites that you shouldn't curate from, and they'll have a copyright notice on them. Very few, in fact, because people like their content to be curated because it gives them backlinks and traffic. Okay, and as you build your authority site, then you would want to encourage other people to curate from your site as well. Okay, so it's all a win-win situation, and any copyright issues come under what's called the fair use of copyright, and all the law says that you're perfectly entitled to copy a portion of someone's content, and it's called fair use. So what I want to do is just get back to what I was talking about before. The other thing you get with Kudani is you get weekly training. Okay, so you get webinar training, and it's not on this slide, but you also get access to a Facebook group. Okay, so you can actually share directly with people your experiences as well. And the feedback we got from the training just on the first one was huge. We got Kudani kicks butt, very good work, Paul, completely blown away. Amazing product, your best yet. Business in a box that I can go forward with to build real income. Kudani is like a Swiss Army knife, the most useful and valuable tool. And I can understand what everyone's been going into fits of ecstasy about Kudani. And Kudani is the best I've seen so far. And this is the best curation software. It's all in one, keyword research and other stuff. Great. and love the program so far. So, I mean, this is just one of the training sessions, and pretty much in every training session, people are really, really getting that. And so, what I want to do while I've got you on the call is just talk you through something that we've put together. We're in what's called a launch phase of Kudani at the moment, and we're in a special offer phase, which is actually closing tomorrow. Okay, and so this is like one of the last opportunities you've got to look at Kudani. And what you get is you get the actual desktop application, which is groundbreaking content marketing software system. Okay, no one else is doing this, and the some people are doing parts of it. Okay, and if you buy parts of it, then they're charging you corporate level prices, well over $5,988 per year, by the way. And what we're also doing is bundling a business edition license. Okay, and that's quite powerful because that allows you to run Kudani on unlimited blogs, okay, and 5 desktops. All right, so you can have other people, using the tool alongside you. So if you've got any outsourcers or VAs or anything like that, then they can all use this as well. And what we're also including is Kudani Masterclass, and this is basically a comprehensive content marketing course. So this is your nuts and bolts, covers everything. So no matter what level you're at, it covers it. And I saw someone asking about um, silo structures and things like that. Yet we cover all that, in this training. And then we have Kudani Consultant. Okay. And this is where, basically you can take these skills and you can take them to other companies who uh, know already that they need to create a blog. They know they need to get traffic and they know they need someone to help them to manage it. And, Kudani Consultant is what's going to help you do that. And then what you also get is Page One Lead Magnet. And this is the tool that enables you to build in opt ins. Okay, so when you have your site there, you want to suck everyone in and get them onto your list because once they're on your list, you can monetize them any way you want. And in terms of the theme itself, have a curation theme built into the suite. And also what's included is penalty recovery method, which is one of my best selling courses, all about the authority factors and trust factors that Google uses, to rank your site. And if you add all of that up, that comes to $9,426. And the special offer we're offering right now is where you can grab that for $37 per month or $197 per year. And all you need to do is type into your browser kudani.com/offer, and you'll get straight to the page that has that special offer for you. And of course, it doesn't just stop there. You get the 30-day money back guarantee. So if you aren't totally happy, with that purchase, you just send me or our support desk an email, and we'll just refund your purchase in full. Okay. So all you need to do is just type in kudani.com/offer, and I will just put that in the chat box for you so that you have fast access to it. Here we go. So there's the link for you. So if so Ken's already in. Brilliant. Thanks, Ken. Appreciate that. Adrian's saying thanks. So yeah, it's right there. It's closing tomorrow, so you do need to jump in now, and the price will go up. Okay. And remember, it's full 30-day guarantee. Okay. So if you're not happy in any way, then you literally drop us an email, and we'll look after you. So jump in to kudani.com/offer. Can anyone see that? They can access that link, okay? Yep, yep. Good. Brilliant. Great. So just while I've got that link on screen, let's just run through the chat box. So, anyone got any questions, on what we've just covered? Just type them into the chat box. So we've got lots of people jumping in. I'm in. Leo says, "Nice offer." Thanks, Leo. This is basically our best. I think it's our best package we've ever done. If you think about what you're getting, you're getting a huge amount of training. You're getting live training every week. Okay, you're getting a Facebook group. You're getting the theme. You're getting an opt-in plugin. You're then getting the actual curation software. Okay, everything all in one package. Okay, so you really don't need anything else, right? You don't need any other tools. You've got everything built in, and it's all there, at your fingertips. And I've got professionals using this. I've got SEO experts using this, marketers using this, people using it with their outsourcing teams. I've got professional SEO companies using this, and it's an app that will grow, and we're getting tons of feedback. We've got loads of ideas for future direction, and I think it's something that you guys are going to absolutely love. So let's have a look. So Rodney's saying, can you send images over to graphics? Oh, I think, Rodney, what you mean is, can you import images, your own images? And yes, basically all those graphics are just looking in directories. Okay, so if you put all your own images in a directory on your, in the same area, in my documents, then it will see that, and you'll be able to load those up. Okay, brilliant. Great. So we've got lots of people coming in. Awesome webinar, says Leo. Thanks, Leo. Brilliant. Any questions? Just type them in the chat box while I'm here. We'll keep this webinar open a few more minutes. Just while you're all getting in there. Remember this. This is going to close very soon. So now's the time to take advantage of this price. Okay, because it will go up. And make sure you're using that link, the offer link. Brilliant. Thanks, guys. Yeah, lots of people coming in now. Is there anyone still on the fence? There's still a few people who haven't asked me questions. And you must be sitting there thinking, you must have something on your mind. If you got something on your mind, just shout it out, put it in the chat box. Let me see if I can deal with it. And I mean, the nice thing about this is it's all white hat, and as I said to you right at the start, some people might think that I want a button just to do everything and create all the content for me automatically. And the thing is, Google knows all that stuff, right? It knows auto blogging. It's got specific algorithms and teams out there specifically geared for that. So, basically, if you do that sort of stuff, you're going to risk your site and all that time. And that's why this method is, intelligent, it's smart, it's the way that the Google wants you to do it. Ronald's asking a great question. Once in for 197 a year, is that for life? I think what you mean, Ronald, is does the price go up? And no, it doesn't. Okay, so you're grandfathered in at that price. That's the special offer. Okay. And I think, by the time a renewal comes up, you'll be very, very happy to renew anyway, because I think you'll be earning, a ton more cash. 197 will be like a blink compared to what you're actually earning at the time. And besides which, you can cancel any time, right? So, it's there's no long-term commitment. Anytime you're unhappy, you can just cancel it. and the renewal won't happen. So, Rich is asking a great question. Will you survive the impending Google keyword tool withdrawal? Absolutely, because we don't use the Google keyword tool. And I know a lot of other tools do that. We don't do that, so we're pulling, Google has an API called Suggests. And whenever you go to Google and you start typing, it provides like an autocomplete list. And that's how it knows what people are actually searching on. Okay. And that data actually often isn't in the keyword tool, because the keyword tool is historical. All right, it's historical data. It's averaged over a year, or at least a few months, and it's always lower than the reality, because Google have to commit to advertising spend on it. So what Google Suggests give you is instant data. Okay, so if you've got something that's just happened, like yesterday or the day before, you'll find that in our tool. Okay, so when any topic, any news topic you can think of, that if it's brand new and fresh, it will be in Kudani. Okay, it won't be in the Google keyword tool. All right, because we're looking at trending data, that things that are happening right now. So you can, if you want to jump on a trend, then you can do that, and you can even search that keyword straight into Twitter, okay, and see what other people are tweeting about as well. All right, so that that's where it really comes into the fore. And it's the same with Google Reader. Google Reader retired, and a lot of other apps were using Google Reader API, and they weren't keeping an eye on things. Some other curation tools use Google Alerts. Big mistake. We've never used alerts, because for ages we've noticed that Google Alerts have been diminishing. If you've ever used them, the number of alerts you get is going down and down and down and down, and no surprise, they're going to retire that as well. Okay, so we don't use alerts, we just use genuine feeds. So when all our feed data, or your feed data in fact, is coming directly from blogs, there's no third party involved. Okay. Paul's asking, can it be used internationally? I thought he said internally. Yes, it can be used internationally. I mean, you're creating from blogs in every language. Okay. What we're looking at doing is building in the search features, so you can search across more databases. Okay, so you can actually search across more regions rather than just the main Google ones. Okay, so if you want to search across Google News in Spanish and stuff like that, that'll be going in too. Okay. All right, guys. Well, we're well past the hour, and I'm going to be calling a close to this webinar very, very shortly. Anyone got any other questions, any other doubts or anything like that, then, fire away. Let me answer them now, because once this is over, and then it's over. So lots of thank yous coming in. Leo just said thanks. It's pretty awesome software, I know. Yeah, thank you for saying that. Yeah, it's a great app, and it's a huge, deal right now. It's quite special. And as I said, we're a software company. We've been around a while, so we're here to stay. And I think you're going to absolutely love it. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to close down the webinar now. So unless you've got any other questions, Leo says, have a great one. Thanks. Sri just asked, what backlinks we will need to create after curation. Well, what you should obviously do is stagger out your social posting. Okay, so the easiest types of backlinks to get straight away are things like obviously your social network and Web 2 links. Okay, and then as we add into the membership, lots of different sources of backlinks as well, that you can actually put in. You can do guest posting. You can do comment links. You can do some directories. So not the rubbish directories that just appear on a keyword, but look for high quality directories. So things with like a really good page ranks, like a PR5. So things like business.com, things like that. And use those types. Okay, but obviously we talk about that in the members area, in the training, and in the Facebook group. All right, guys. So we're going to close down this now. Thanks very much for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed that training. And Rich says, "Good night, Paul. I'm looking forward to signing up." Brilliant. Oh, Joseph just said, "Can you discuss ongoing training?" Joseph, our training is weekly. Okay, so you get the training courses and videos and everything in the members area, so that's accessible whenever you want it. But we also do the webinars as well. Okay, so that's where you're on live Q&A, like you're asking me a question now. You can do that on the webinars as well, so that we can talk you through any particular problems that you have. Okay, good. All right, guys, I'm going to close the webinar now. Thanks very much for listening. And this is Paul Clifford signing off.